Good morning everyone, welcome back to another video. So I know in the past I said that I've been waiting on parts, a few parts. It's like 2 or 3 parts that I was waiting on. Well, 2 of them are finally in. One of which is in this box. It's already open. I opened it, made sure there was nothing damaged, but I can assure you it's definitely not out of the box yet. It's definitely, I put it back in there with all the plastic wrapped over it. I definitely did that, so we will unbox that. Also, my harness came in, and let me tell you, this thing looks amazing. Yes, I'm very impatient. I unboxed this already. I just want to look at it. I want to make sure that the wiring schematic or diagram was kind of in it already. That way I can give it to my tuner. But I'm not going to waste any more time on today's video. I'm going to unbox this real quick. We'll just show you, and I will lay out the harness as well on the ground, and I will go over the all the details on what's going on with the car. So like I said, I already unboxed this. I wanted to make sure that it was intact before I actually accept it from the post office. I wanted to make sure there was no damage, but as you can see, this is the typical rear diffuser. Pretty much every Supra runs this. This is kind of like the RX-7's feed style that they designed, but they designed it obviously for the Supra. There is a couple things that I'm disappointed in, which I will go over right now about it. I opted not to have the fins in the center. I want to see how that looked, and I'm going to show you an extra piece, the pieces that go on the end. I did order them a while ago, and I've been sitting on them for probably about 2 months now. Get them out of this box. So I've had these for a while now. These are Shine Autos extensions. These are the newer ones. These are the longer ones, so they're a little bit longer. I don't know if this is the correct side, but basically they're just gonna sit on the end. So if you've ever seen a Supra diffuser, you'll know that the extensions kind of flare out a little bit more. Don't let it fool you. There is a downside to this one, and I will explain exactly what it is. So with this one, this is all it comes with, just this piece. Now the Shine Auto one has a piece that you put like right in here, and it kind of flares up, and it covers this, which I'm gonna fix this, don't mind that. Basically it goes along this, it follows this pattern, and it actually adds more support on the ends, so they're not just kind of just floppy. This one doesn't include that, so I'm gonna have to make brackets to kind of go here and here to kind of hold it steady. But the problem with that is it leaves all this gap right under here. So it's gonna be kind of like an open area. So what I did decide on doing is I'm going to be running the rear spats. The other issue I ran into is, as you can see, the gap between the frame and the exhaust is diffuser. When it goes in, it hits the exhaust. So I am going to have to notch out like a little section in the diffuser so I can actually tuck it up. So I will be trying to figure that out. It's probably not gonna go well, but I'm super excited to get this. It's gonna actually finish off everything. I am contemplating ordering a front lip for the car because ooh, excuse me. Anyway, like I was saying, I want to get a front lip for the car, another carbon fiber front lip. I love carbon fiber. I always have, always will. It's my car, and I want to put carbon fibers everywhere. Let's just drag this out of the way. Oh, watch yourself. Dodo. Please don't call animal abuse on me. Put that on the rubbers. And now, one of the pivotal pieces of this car. Woo. Get out of the way. My new harness. Man, when I tell you that this thing is just extremely extremely well made. It's insane how much better this harness looks compared to my old one. They also send you this. Obviously this is the full setup, pinouts 1 through 80. I like it because I can literally just upload this or scan this to a computer, and I can send this directly to the tuner, and that way he will know. There will be a couple things that I'll have to probably write in, as far as if I do a BTI gauge, or actually when I do a BTI gauge, as well as my 12 position switch, which is going to be some sort of, probably one of these analogs. But enough talk, let's get right into putting all this in, or at least getting it fed down into the ECU, because I may be able to rotate the ECU, and I'll explain once everything is kind of ran where it needs to be. So before we install this, a little trick that I like to do, or a little, I guess, a Easter egg type of thing, I put zip ties randomly around a harness, and the reason being is because when you lift the harness, you don't want all those cables kind of just flopping all over the place. This kind of keeps it uniform, where you can just kind of throw it up on the dashboard and everything will stay together, and whatever starts lining up first, you clip that zip tie, start plugging in, and then you run it that way. All right, so I got everything off, coils are sitting over there. Now let's run this damn harness. Ooh, can we just take a minute? That blue though? Ooh, a little scratch right there, but that'll be covered. I have to fit all this down there. Don't worry, I'll just cut that out. Down there.
And that?
Yep. All this. And look, they're all the same size. It's not like they're different sizes.
You're not doing that.
It's happening. It's gotta happen.
There's no way you're doing that.
I am not going to lie, that was a struggle, but it's down, it's in there. I'm going to show you. I will have to orientate the ECU and the bigger relay that's controlling the ignition coils. I also have to figure out what those 3 relays are for. They may be for the ignition coils, so two ignition coils per relay, because there's 3 relays down there, which would take that big boxy one completely out, which I think that's what it does. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so I did find some bolts. Bolted this down. It's not fully tightened yet. As you can see, I took the relays off as well to feed that down, but this thing is secure, and we can start going ahead and running it. Okay, so I ran into a little bit of a hiccup. I'm having a lot of trouble. For the past 20 minutes I've been trying to feed it the harness underneath the manifold. The problem is it splits in 3 different sections, so trying to feed them, I made the mistake, I cut the zip ties by accident. Right now I'm having the issue where I can't feed it underneath the manifold. I really don't want to pull the manifold off. I may just pull my manifold off, because once the manifold's off, I can at least start securing it. I can do everything underneath the manifold, and then once I put the manifold back up, I'll just feed everything up, and I'll zip tie it to the something else. I'm not really gonna film all of this because I don't want to keep messing around with the camera and moving it back and forth, and I'm not just going to set up a tripod because you're not really going to see what I'm doing. So I apologize if this kind of just skips past all the uninstalling of anything or with me getting a harness ran.
A few moments later.
Alright, so quick update after about an hour worth of dismantling. I get everything off and I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, shit, I'm not looking forward to putting all this back together. So as you can see, this is just a fucking mess of stuff. Manifold's off. I didn't pull the hose off. It's kind of tight. I'm going to clip that zip tie so it relieves some tension off of it. I had to pull damn near everything off, but this does give me an opportunity to cleanly run the harness underneath and zip tie everything out of the way. Hopefully everything lines up properly and goes to where it needs to be going. But I'm going to continue pressing forward with this. This stuff I'll kind of film and just show you guys the step-by-step of how I'm doing it, how I'm going about doing it on my setup. Not this could be different for your setup. I got everything pretty much plugged in. There's a few plugs. I know this is a power wire. Obviously it says power. I think it goes to the starter. The problem is I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put this on the starter as the power wire from the battery is coming over to it. It's just those weird random plugs that I had to figure out. But other than that, the harnesses ran. I'm going to start zip tying everything kind of close together and move the harness over a little bit if I can. I am going to have to extend my IAT sensor. The way this harness is wired, I think it's wired for a stock setup. I should have told them, hey, can you make specific plugs a little bit longer than what you would normally make them for this particular reason.
12 o'clock midnight.
Alright, so it's late. It's like, I don't know, 6 hours later. Yes, I know that took me a while to do. I will show you guys a quick update on what's kind of done and just the little things that I have to finish. So I buttoned everything up on the turbo side. I got everything zip tied nicely and cleanly down over here. I think this is my boost for my boost solenoid, so I have to wire that in. Got everything ran over here. I just got to put the injectors back in and the actual rail. I was able to tighten these up. I don't know where my tool is exactly, but I basically took a regular Allen key and I cut it like really short. That way it'll fit into here. So I got that squared away. I still need to pop the wires up through for the injectors. I'm gonna do that now, wire all that up. I'm not really gonna film anymore. A lot of this stuff is kind of redundant. You're just putting stuff on and you're plugging everything back up. So this is where we stand, and I'm going to probably just end it here because I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to keep going into depth of what's going on. You guys kind of know, get the gist of what's happening. I still do have to wire it up to the ECU. That I may just kind of wire in. I have to see. I may have to take that whole plate out, which is not a big deal. It's just kind of just self-tapped in there. I'll probably take that off and orientate the harness sideways and then put the relays just a little bit lower than that. It'll actually tuck the harness way up higher than what it is right now, which that's what I want. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope you guys are getting as excited as I am to finally get this car started. Hopefully this week. I emailed the tuner. We'll see what he says when he gets back to me. Honestly, the car should be ready to fire up this week. You guys already know what to do. Hit that like button. If you're not already doing so, make sure you subscribe. Also hit that little notification bell so you guys do know when I upload a new video. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. Killing